Hey everybody, it's Mucha Marapa from Matrix Global Media, and as part of the Facebook Timeline Marketing program, we've got a little series of tutorials here on how to fully utilize these thumbnail application tabs here in order to really take advantage of what you have on your timeline in such a way that you can create some really good calls to action and utilize the number. Don't forget, I said in the previous video that there are, you have 12, you have that many sort of opportunities to be very creative, and I think in a nutshell that's the word. It's really just how much of an imagination you've got in order to showcase what it is you would like to sell. Now in this video we're going to continue on from where we sort of left off in the last one. I'm just going to scoot on over to a different browser here just so you can see what the timeline applications would look like if I was just approaching it from not being an administrator. So for that quick hello, if I was to click it, you would see the video that we got from YouTube, and if you remember in the last one we used the HTML code. I'm pleased to say that the video does very much play now. There you can see it. Wonderful stuff, just playing away there. So, and here is the autoresponder. This is part of a web form from Aweber. Again, we put the code in there. So this is what somebody would click if they went to that page. Now I've got a couple of examples also now loaded up, example 1 and example 2. If I go ahead and click example 1, what you see here is an image, and what this one is doing, it's just sort of highlighting the design arm of Matrix Global. Yes, I'm very much a marketer and I teach and I enjoy teaching, but there came a need just from some of the teaching I was doing where people would say, hey listen, this is all very well and good, but would you do it for us? So I said, yeah, of course I would, no problem. So this is what we've got here, and I just wanted to show you how you can set something up like this. Now I've got to be the first to say that it does involve some design work. Okay, so that's something that you will either do yourself, you'll get from a designer. One area that I would go to a lot, and I still go to a lot, is Fiverr.com. Okay, so that's over here, Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, and you can get jobs done for $5 US. So you could easily have something designed similar to this. There is some serious talent on that site, Fiverr.com, and you can get something done. So what we're sort of addressing here is, how did we go ahead and put this on the page? Not too dissimilar to the previous video we had where you saw us using code. It is very much the same thing here. Now I wish I could say that so much of this stuff is just very, very straightforward, which in many ways it is, but there is a little bit of sort of, knowledge of WordPress or somewhere else that you need to know in order to host your image. Okay, now let me explain that. If you remember on the previous video, YouTube, that video was hosted by YouTube. So we went into YouTube, we got that code, and then we put it on this static HTML page. Likewise with the autoresponder, the opt-in box, that was hosted by Aweber. We got the code and then we put it here on the static HTML page. So it's no different with this image. It is hosted somewhere. Okay, and on this occasion it's actually hosted on my Matrix Global Media site. Okay, so let me just show you and give you an example of that. So when you go in here and you have a look, you can see all these images that I've got here. So this is, again, I don't mean to go too technical, and it's really not that complicated. Believe me, if I learned how to sort of design sites and put some coding on, anyone can, and I genuinely mean that. But this is the image here, and if we go ahead and click it, you see it shows up here. Alright, and what we need to pay attention to is up here where it says file URL, and you see the HTTP Matrix Global Media, so on and so forth, WordPress content and all the rest of it. It goes on for a little while. So what in effect happens is anytime you load something up here, it is given a URL. Okay, it's given a www dot and then all the other different addresses. Now, just to show you how easy it is to load something up here, I've gone up to the corner here and it says media, add new. You go on and click here, and it's just like attaching a document in Microsoft Word or something like that. You know, you move down, you see this that says drop files here. You go ahead and you click that, and I just sort of did a quick screenshot of something with Facebook, and you can see it says DRDRP1. Okay, I've double clicked that. Now look down here, you can see it loading up here. Right, there it is. It's loaded already. Okay, so if now I go back to my image library of the media library, okay, and I click on, you can see it here. Then if I click this image on the right hand side here, you see it's been given its own address. Okay, and there, this is the image in effect. You know, I just did a screenshot, it was a Facebook image and so on and so forth. But I'm not actually using that image. I'm going to use that one that we sort of first saw on the page. Let me just find it. This one. Okay, so let's go into the actual application here so you can see how it is done. Alright, so here we are, we're back logged in as well, and what I had done, if you remember before, we were able to give it a name and so on and so forth. So it's no different here. I went ahead and downloaded static HTML, and then we go ahead and click that. And then you see admin tools. Click the admin tools. Right, now you can see the image is already here, but if I go to edit tab, you'll see what I did. Okay, here was this image. Remember the one when I showed you in WordPress? It says http matrix global media, yada yada yada, all that other stuff. Now what we have had to do is we've put a bit of coding at the front, this open brackets, the IMG, SRC and all the rest of it, and then at the end after PNG. Now this would either be a JPEG if you have a JPEG image, or a PNG, and then again we do the inverted commas and we do that bracket there. Okay, now what that means, folks, I really can't tell you. Okay, really it's just some code that enables you to do that, but I have listed that code for you. Okay, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about it. So you literally just go ahead and you go where your image has been hosted. So for example, you would get this code. Alright, you add the other things at the front and at the back to it, which I will give you that code to add at the front and the back. You put it in here like this. Okay, and then if you were to preview it, you would see it here, and that's it. You know, that's how you do your image, and you go to all saved. Now what I want to show you is one other tab and a slight difference that we did with that. So that was example 1, and now we put this tab down. There is an example 2. If I click example 2, now see what happens when I hover the cursor over the image this time. You can see it will actually hyperlink, and I'm going to click it now. Alright, so I've clicked that image and that has taken me outside of Facebook and onto a page. This is my FB timeline design page, and you can see there I am again on video talking, and you know, we've got an offer. This is how we sort of go ahead designing different Facebook pages, landing pages. We've got certain packages and so on and so forth. Okay, and the way that we did this was again not too similar to the time before. So I'll go back in here and I'll show you. So we've got example 2 this time, and when we click on admin tools here and the edit tab, you'll see some code, and if you can see, there is more code than last time. Last time it was just 1 line, and now there's 2 lines. Now let's just narrow down on it. I don't expect you to sort of really understand everything about the coding, but I do want you to look at a couple of important things here. If you see here, this is that image again, just like I'd shown you in WordPress. Okay, so that's the image. I've put a bit of stuff at the back and just also at the front. But take a look at this here, right? So here is the web address for FB timeline design. So that's how it knew to go to there once it was clicked. This was the code. And again, on here, on this piece of paper, I've got the code for you. Okay. Now, of course, you're going to have to change the Matrix Global Media, and you're also going to have to change the FB timeline design and put your own destinations in there, and you've also got to find a place to host your image. There would be other places. I've got no problem at all over time going and finding and researching them. I always just think it's a lot better and a lot more accurate, and to be fair, a lot more clear cut. If I can just tell you what I've done, what's worked for me, and that's using WordPress, which I feel is an integral part of my day-to-day marketing, for the ability to do landing pages. You can actually do a lot of Facebook pages via certain applications. So you will need to find somewhere to host this image. I do recommend WordPress. And you'd have to just sort of, I have got a training program on WordPress. It's not quite ready yet, and it probably won't be ready still for a good few months, I don't think, because I've got a few other things taking place. But that's, you've basically got to have it hosted somewhere, okay, your image. And now finally, I want to show you one last thing here. Okay, this is my Matrix Global Media website, my normal website. This is where I sort of tend to introduce myself to the world. And there is another option that you can use for a landing page tab that I haven't used a whole lot. I sort of messed around with it a little bit at the very start, but it's very good. And let me show you what it does. It basically allows you to put an existing website onto a Facebook application tab, and the name of the company is Woobox. Okay, and it is static HTML iframe tab by Woobox. Okay, so you're going to go there and you click that on. Now once again, it asks you, it needs to make sure that you are the sort of owner of the overall Facebook account. So I've gone continue here. Okay, so now it takes us to something where it says add a custom page tab to your Facebook page. Okay, and it's got wide page tab support and custom apps, and what you see is what you get. That's what all this stuff is here. Okay, and then we click on to install the page tab, and then once again it's going to ask which Facebook page do you want to go to. So I've got a lot of them here. I'm just going to move down the page and find my small business social media. Okay, so it's just finding that now. As always, when you've got the camera on there running, it tends to take a little bit more time than I care for it to. Okay, so I've clicked on the one I want, and let me go to add page tab. So now it says small business social media, add page tab, and it's got the welcome on there again. Okay, now when we go down here this time and I just press this, you can see that welcome, right? And once again, if you want to change the words on it underneath, we can just say visit website. Okay, so I go save, then OK, and as you can see it says visit website. Now this is where the magic really happens. Okay, so here, and look, I'm going to be the first person to tell you, you're going to have to quote unquote mess around a little bit here just to find out which size is going to work best for you, and so on and so forth. But first of all, let's start with the page source. Okay, so basically it's saying where do you want us to get the information from, and we've put URL here. Okay, now it said which URL do you want to load into the window, so I'm going to go www.matrixglobalmedia.com, and you can see it's got the height, so you can sort of, again, you can tweak it. There's going to be a bit of trial and error here. Alright, now when we move a bit further down here, it also has, it'll ask you about whether you want to have the friend gate, meaning if somebody likes the page before they go ahead and can see more things. There's a very interesting thing here that says hide scroll bars. So normally on a website where you scroll up and down, you can take those away so it wouldn't show. But let me just go ahead and show you how good this is, and really sort of take a look at this as well as far as some of the other things that you can add here. But just to start with, so I have gone ahead and I've put my website in there. I'm going to move down. I'm going to save the settings. Okay, so that has saved the settings. We're going to go back up here and we look at the page. We move this a bit further down here and you can see visit website. Now what I'll do is let me go back to the different browser so it can look as though I'm somebody who isn't sort of an admin, so I can't sort of get in through the sort of admin area. So this is what I would see here, and when I click on this visit website, there you go. How cool's that, huh? So you look, and on the actual page itself,
hey everybody, welcome
and
to
there I am, and this is what I meant about some of the scroll bars and some of the things that you can adjust a little bit. Okay, but it actually has a website that you can see via the application tab. Good stuff, isn't it? So that is the sort of lesson 2, where I've just gone ahead and shown you what you can do with some images, and also how you can actually take an existing website that you have somewhere and put that onto your timeline application tabs. We've got some code here. I'm going to put this on this YouTube page here, so you can go in and get the code. If you've got any questions, just come onto the Timeline Marketing fan page, ask them. I'll be very happy to help you out. And then just remember with the image, now on here, when we go back, and I'll tell you what we'll do. Let me go back to here so we can just look at it. No, that was the YouTube channel. So this one, for example. So yeah, I've just used an image here. Okay, so what I meant is you could use a header and an image. So you could actually get a header similar to this one here, Matrix Global Media, the one I've got. Yeah, you could cut this out, or if you've got a header, again, you'd have to host it somewhere, so you could do that in WordPress, but you could put this on top of the actual document that we had here. Let me show you here. So you could put a header on the top there, so in addition to having just the image, so you can really make it look very, very good. Secondly, you could put a header, an image, and an opt-in form. Alright, so at the very bottom here you could have all the blurb, and instead of like what I've written here by saying visit the page by clicking here, you could actually put enter your name, an email address, and a submit button. So there really is some opportunities to be very creative and work this out. And my recommendation is, for any of the design stuff, go over to Fiverr.com. You would be able to find somebody who could put together a simple image, and you could do very well out of it. And by the way, in the early days, and I'm actually going to show you this right now, I told you how sort of I really did have to sort of wing it at times. What I used to do in the early days, a lot of the time I would write something here and put my bullet points. So for example, I'd say free report covering, and then I would go bullet point, bum 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 bum, another bullet point, another bullet point, another bullet point. Okay, and then what I would do is I would actually get Jing. Okay, so I mean it really was sort of pretty crude, right? So I'd go here, I would crop this like with Jing, and this would actually be my image. So I'd have all the copy written on here, right? You see I save as, so there, that's my image now. Okay, and then underneath I would put an opt-in box. So be creative, and I got results from that. I mean, on the Word document, again, if you use a bit of clip art or something else like that, it's very doable. And as I said, there are paid applications. There are ones where literally it's just a click and you're there. But I just really wanted to show you the nuts and bolts of it, because then I think once you learn this and you understand it, it's so much easier to graduate and really gather and choose which one is best for you. So I hope this has helped you. Now in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few free sort of professional applications, for want of a better word, specifically for things like YouTube and Twitter, to be able to put them on there, because I think out of the 12 here, it's always good to have those on there, plus one or two more. But until next time, I hope that's helped you. I look forward to your comments, and I look forward to speaking to you again very, very soon.